Hey y'all, that's Crystal. Thanks so much for stopping in today. Just a quick little weekly kind of reading update for you. What I got into this past week. I hope that you're doing well. I had a pretty good week. Still reading. So I'm gonna officially call this lump over now. So yeah, let's just dive right into what I got into next week with some things I finished. You ready? Let's go. So I did finish Into the Forest, which is a Baba Yaga anthology. I did post a little book chat about that one also. I really liked this collection, anthology of different Baba Yaga tales from a bunch of different authors. Really, it's just super interesting takes on kind of retellings of the Baba Yaga story. I don't know, I really loved it. So if you're into Baba Yaga or into like kind of dark kind of what's the word I'm looking for? Kind of folk horror tinge with some magic, dark magic. Give it a go. I really liked this anthology, so I definitely recommend it. I won't talk too much more about it. You can definitely go check out that other video if you're interested in hearing a little bit more about it if you missed it. So some other things I finished, I'm doing Nostalgia November, which is Kelsey's November readathon, based on kind of nostalgic things, and so yeah, I finished a few books for that. First up, I finished Escape from Mr Lemoncello's Library. This is by Chris Grabenstein, and this was super cute. I did listen to the audio for it, which was really well done, and this is definitely Willy Wonka vibes. It's just set in a library, and it doesn't involve food. It involves like games and puzzles. So there's this man named Mr Lemoncello who is a world-renowned game maker, like board games, video game, all kinds of stuff, and puzzles. And he goes back to his hometown where he grew up, where there hasn't been a library in like years and years, and he kind of rebuilds the library. And at the opening of the library, there's a group of 12-year-old kids that are invited to kind of get locked into the library as a fun thing. I don't know if you remember, we used to have lock-ins at the skating rink growing up. But anyway, if you've ever been to a lock-in before. But anyway, but it turns out it's actually a game, and they have to find out how to get out of the library by playing little games and things like that. So before a certain amount of time, for a big grand prize again. So it feels very kind of Wonka-ish in that way, but it was super cute. I think if you or a kid in your life is into games and puzzles, for sure they would definitely love this. They would love the adventure of figuring out the answers, the solving the riddles, that kind of thing. It was cute. Yeah, I had a lot of fun with this one. This was for the prompt, I think, a book that has like a author in it, or a book about books, features a library, that kind of thing. So yeah, definitely fit that prompt for Nostalgic November. And yeah, it was cute. It was definitely, I definitely recommend it if it sounds something that you would like to read. And again, if you have like a kiddo who's into libraries or games and puzzles, they would definitely probably really enjoy that one. Okay, then I finished actually another middle grade story, Nightwings by Joseph Bruchac. And this one was a little bit not quite what I was expecting, but I did enjoy it. How to describe this one? So right there in the beginning of the story, we're following a young kid named Paul, who's his father is actually already serving in the military, like overseas, and right here in the beginning of the book, his mother is being shipped off for a year to go serve somewhere, and so he's gonna go live with his grandfather while his mom is gone. And they are of I think it's Abenaki heritage, and so this of course story pulls in a lot of that lore into here with this creature, but there's also this sort of side plot of this what's the word I'm looking for? This kind of crew of people that come in. They do some of those shows that are kind of like, discovering the true myths and all that kind of thing, where they can travel all over the globe and that kind of stuff. Like, is there a real Bigfoot? And they go off searching for a Bigfoot kind of stuff. And so they, but they travel like internationally, and they've been wanting to, this creature here, which, what was his name now? Oh, Pamala, right. And again, who is steeped in Abenaki lore, and supposedly he has this treasure on top of the mountain. This takes place in New Hampshire. If you're familiar at all with the White Mountains, there's a pretty gnarly kind of mountain range, and so supposedly this Pamala has a treasure on top, and this crew is wants to investigate it, and they come to ask this kid's I feel like I'm rambling. But they come to ask the kid's grandfather to help them, and the grandfather's like, no, I'm not gonna be doing that, and they like kidnap like the grandfather and his son, and the little kid. Well, he's not little, he's maybe like 12, but I'm like, what the world? There's like this torture scene. I mean, it got a little rough here. It got a little intense. Yeah, the kid gets like shot at and everything. So I'd say it's definitely older kids, I would say, just because of there is like some pretty intense violence in here. So just know that. I say just know if you are wanting to give this to a child, maybe an older, a bit older child who can handle that game. And then of course we learn about Pamala and the lore of who, what this creature is and all that kind of thing. So it's super interesting, of course, and I did really enjoy it. It was, again, I think just a little bit not quite what I was expecting it to be. So it kind of threw me off guard. So maybe I didn't quite enjoy it as much as I was hoping to. But it was still enjoyable, and again, learning a little bit of information about this Pamala from the Abenaki lore. So it's definitely worth a read, I think, if you're interested. If you're looking for a bit of a darker kind of middle grade story, it would. I'd recommend it for sure. And this is my second Bruchac book, so I'm a fan of his writing, and I've got I think a couple more on his shelves now that I need to read too. So yay! So yeah, it was good. Okay, and yes, I finished Ancillary. I can't ever figure out how to say it. I think it's Ancillary Justice. I am Lecke. This is the book club pick for Rachel over at the Shades of Oranges Patreon book club for the month. And this is one I've been wanting to read for a long time now. I heard such interesting things about it, and so I was excited that it was picked for the month. So yeah, I finally get into it. I did listen to the audiobook, which I honestly recommend because of some of the names of the characters and places and things like that. It was good for me to hear how they were actually pronounced. So even if you don't listen to the full audiobook, if you just listen to it for a little bit to get how things are pronounced, it may be helpful for you. Just a side note there. But I overall ended up really liking this one, and it's kind of it's interestingly told. We kind of go back and forwards in time a bit. We're following our main character Breck, who is kind of almost kind of like a remnant of an ancillary. So what ancillaries are here in this world, and this is a science fiction kind of space opera type story, and so the ancillaries are basically AIs, and they can be as large as controlling an entire ship, or they can be, one ancillary can be put into different soldiers. You can be 1,000 soldiers. You can be in kind of one almost human form. It's quite vast about how the ancillaries work, and they're kind of like recycled almost and over again. So like if the ship blows up or whatever, and they can have this ancillary's sort of mind put into something else. It's kind of hard to explain, right? But yeah, so anyway, in this galaxy, there's definitely a sort of, what's the word I'm looking for? I keep thinking colonization, which I guess is kind of where the word I'm looking, but not what I'm trying to say. But there's this sort of overarching kind of ruling folks that are taking over all kinds of planets all over the place, and we get a lot from that perspective. So there's a lot of we are helping these people out by taking them over, and all that kind of stuff. So a lot about sort of annexation and who different sort of alien races are better than the others and all that kind of stuff. So all of that stuff was very interesting. A lot of sort of political intrigue regarding that is in here. And then really at the core, it's a revenge story. And so again, we follow our main character Breck, who has some motives here. And there's lots of also really interesting play with gender in here, which I thought was super interesting. I ended up really liking this one. So if you're looking for a science fiction that's maybe a slightly bit more complex, like you really kind of have to pay attention to the story, and you like, maybe do you like stories with artificial intelligence, political play, stuff like that, I would definitely recommend it. So I had a good time with this one. I'm glad to have finally read it, and I could check it off the list. It is part of a trilogy. I'll probably continue on with it sometime. I'm definitely interested what happens next. So I've heard mixed things about the next books, but I might give them a go at some point. So I know I have book 3 on my shelf, so book 2, maybe I can just find the audio somewhere. But yeah, I liked it. It was really, really well done, and really, really smart book. I was gonna look. So yeah, this just came out in 2013, so it's a little bit older, but not too old. Okay, so I think that's all that I finished this week, and that's pretty darn good. I had a good time with everything that I read this week. So do have a few things in progress. I am still making my way through Poking Holes by Juan Valencia, and really just still enjoying this. I think I've got maybe 3 more stories. So 1, 2. I have 2 stories left. Oh no. Yeah, I'm enjoying these. So I have 2 more stories, and then I'll kind of give final thoughts on it. But yeah, I'm really liking this collection. I did start Insomnia by Stephen King. I picked this up next on audio after finishing Ancillary Justice. I'm up to, I think, chapter 10. So not quite, well, about half-ish way, I guess. This story, I don't know. It's a little meandering. So many little side stories. I don't know. So basically it's about this older man. I think he's in his 70s. Kind of right there in the beginning of the book, his wife has passed away from cancer. And soon after that, he starts having trouble sleeping and really becomes an insomniac, or sleeping just very little, each night. And he kind of starts seeing things, and it turns into this whole thing. But that part is interesting to me. I'm loving the talk about the lack of sleep, and then these things that he's seen, because it's is it there, is it not, that kind of stuff. But there's this whole side story. There's a love story now thrown into it. Okay, fine. There's this whole subplot, because this takes place in Derry, by the way, which I am enjoying. I like being back in Derry. But there's this whole subplot of this discussion around abortion, and this abortion this women's clinic in Derry, and there's this, I guess, really sort of what's it called? This woman is coming to visit and speak about the clinic. She's a really sort of popular sort of feminist, There's this whole conversation around the abortion that, quite frankly, I don't care. Okay, I don't care to hear. I just don't care about. It's kind of frustrating me. I don't care about what fictional grumpy old white men care about abortion. I just don't care. I don't really want to hear your opinion on it, even if it's not real, because this is this made up story. That part is really just it's frustrating to me. I get King is trying to I think as far as I know, he is a pro-choice person, but I don't know. It's just, I don't know why it's in this book, I guess. Why this even whole subplot is in here, I don't understand. Maybe by the end it'll all make sense. But this is another huge book where I just feel this story is meandering, and much like 11/22/63. I'm just like, what's the point of half of this? Does half of this shit don't need to be in here? But anyway, so what's keeping me reading is the insomnia part. You know, the book's called Insomnia, and the weird stuff that's happening, that's keeping me interested. I don't really care about anything else. So I'm gonna finish it out just because I'm doing the audio, and it's an easy story to digest. You know what I mean? Because I kind of want to check it off the list as I've read it. I'm trying to make my way through all of King's books, you know. So we'll see how I end up on this one. I don't know, you guys. And I am still slowly making my way through Slewfoot. I didn't read it too much yesterday. I read a little chunk last night on some reading sprints, but I'm up through, I think I'm in chapter 2. The chapters are a little, yeah, I'm in chapter 2. They're a little on the longish side, so, but I'm like hooked. I'm hooked into the story, and I'm excited. So I love the setting of this like Puritan kind of New England setting. It's super interesting. I'm absolutely loving the main character, Abatha. Oh, I'm in love with her already. Yeah, so this will be what I focus on, you know, over the weekend and through next week probably. If I haven't finished it, I'll definitely take it with me. We're going out of town next week for the holidays, for Thanksgiving holiday. So yeah. I think that's all I've got in progress yet. So yeah, so like I said, we'll be heading out of town next week. Looking forward to that. Seeing my husband's parents, who we haven't seen in 3 years because of COVID. So it'll be nice to have a visit with them. And what else? I think that's it. I think that's it. So yeah. Watching pretty much the same stuff. Still watching Andor. Still loving it. And we've been watching, I think I mentioned we've been watching, what's it called? House of the Dragon or whatever. I don't know. It's okay. It's okay. I'm not like loving it like I was loving Game of Thrones, you know. But we'll finish it out and watch it. I mean, I want to watch it. It's just I'm not like loving it. You know what I mean? Lots of time jumps, you know. Anyway, I'm rambling now. So I'll end it here. Yeah, that's it for my week. It was pretty good. Let me know how your reading week went. Hope you got some good pages turned last week. And yeah, I'm not sure what else I'll have going on this week. So if I don't see you, if you celebrate Thanksgiving, of course, hope you have a wonderful Thanksgiving. Spend some time with family and friends. Or maybe just curled up with a good book on your couch. That's fine too. And yeah, thanks so much for watching as always. You know, I'm so appreciative of you spending some time with me. And until next time, friends, bye.